All right, for the most part, Anthony Springer seems generally calm, and he broke down only once on the stand. But let's keep in mind he's defending himself and his wife, Marcia, who's sitting just a few feet away watching him all the while. And we brought in a body language expert to show us what the Springers could be saying even when they're not speaking. Susan Constantine is an expert on deception detection, and she joins us right now from Miami. All right, Susan, let's start with Anthony Springer. We saw him on the stand earlier today. It's some of the most emotion I've seen from any of the defense witnesses so far, but you see him at one point crying. What do you think he's going through at this moment? Is this sympathy for Callista, or is this maybe him thinking about his situation? What do you see?
Well, what I'm seeing, first of all, you see the tears, okay? But right after the tears, he recovers very quickly. There's no skipping in his voice inflection. You don't hear any cracking. That's telling me that those tears are not authentic, stating that he is not feeling sad or remorseful of what had happened. And then when you look towards the back, you see Marcia. And Marcia, as she's listening to it, because I know that she's blind, but as she's listening to it, she has what we call a duping delight smile. She's putting her head down and she's looking up, and she has an artificial smile that goes up, and that is at an inappropriate time. That's telling me that she found favor, she found joy in what she was doing.
Wow, she found joy, even though she
found joy in that.
I just saw her put her head down and wipe her eyes. I mean, couldn't she have been crying at that moment?
Where's the tears? Why is she smiling at the same time that she's supposedly supposed to be crying? See, what I'm looking at is that parts of the facial expressions don't match. She might be putting her head down. We've seen so many people on television when they're saying, you know, where's my child? Some people help me to try to find my daughter or son, and they put their head down. They're very good actresses. But what betrayed her was that duping delight smile. If you went back frame by frame like I did, you would notice that she has got a smile that goes up that says, I'm wondering if I duped them. I wonder if they could figure me out, because she absolutely was trying to dupe us.
That is just unbelievable, shocking. And let me ask you this, Sue. I want us to put up that picture again of Marcia. She blinks a lot. She has these moments in the trial where she just is blinking furiously. She did it one time when Courtney was on the stand. Her daughter was testifying about some of the things that went on in the home, and she was blinking furiously the whole time. Does that tell you anything?
Yeah, it does. Well, first of all, let me share something about reading body language. One cue, you cannot accurately read someone based on one clue of rapid eye blinking. First of all, we know she's blind. It could be her eyes are dry.
Right.
But what we have to do is to go back and see, is that how she normally responds most of the time? So if her eyes would blink on let's say maybe 15, 20 times per minute, and you would see that doubled, then you have to tie that into the context of the conversation and see where the anxiety is coming from. That is called a leakage. Okay? That's leaking out anxiety. So we don't know where it's coming from, but she's feeling anxious.
Wow. Okay, so if she's feeling anxious at that moment, I want to talk about a moment where I thought I saw Anthony get a little bit anxious when he talked about what Callista did in that home, not talking about the knife. And then he got to this part where he was talking about her breaking syringes. Counsel asked him, his own lawyer asked him, what, you saw that happen? And he said, well, the dog didn't do it. You know, but he's got 2 other kids in that house. I thought that was a moment where he kind of got a little bit curt. In those kinds of moments, as you saw it, what did you think was going on there?
Okay, well, there's a lot that I saw. And again, let me share something with you. What leaks out of his facial expressions in a micro 25th of a second is his true emotion. What you saw in several times was a snare. A snare. He was very disgusted with her. Now, when you see disgust, that's when the nose crinkles up. Well, you'll see it within a fraction of a minute, okay, 1/20th of a second. You'll see it in his mouth. And it's not the form of disgust that he smelled something bad. This form of disgust, what Dr. Paul Ekman found in research, was disgust about how he felt about the person. So he was very frustrated with her. He was disgusted with her. Well, you know, the dog didn't do it, so who else would have done it? Well, you know, Marcia was there. There was a whole slew of kids there, too, from what I understand at one point. You know, we don't know who did it. But, of course, what his mindset is that he's pointing blame at her.
Do you see do you see a difference? So he's pointing blame at Callista. Do you see a difference when he's talking about Marcia versus when he's talking about Callista?
You know, I didn't really notice that too much when he was talking. First of all, he's endearing. He loves his wife. He's very endearing with his wife. But Callista, let me share. I think what you're asking me is, first of all, there is distancing between them. Okay. He is separate. He is void of her presence in their lives. Both of them are. That when he refers to her as doesn't often call her Callista. I mean, he'll say her or the daughter. That or
interesting. So void of her present it means essentially he's distant. He's taken her out of their life.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. Okay.
That's why, first of all, the emotions weren't real emotional, weren't real believable at the very beginning too, when he was showing tears, well, artificial tears anyway.
All right. Well, Susan, thank you so much, and stick around. We're going to talk to Susan in the next hour after more of Anthony Springer's testimony.